Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my new daily driver. It's a 2011 Infiniti M37, and we're just going to do a couple of mods to it to make it sit a little nicer, a little bit more aggressive, and a little bit more sporty looking. So let's jump right in. Things that we're going to be doing today is adding some coilovers and a bigger wheel and tire package. So the M37 is a really big sedan, so they need a really big wheel on them, and they actually some come with a 20-inch wheel standard. I think the S models do. This one's not an S model, so it has 18-inch wheels on it, but we're going to go ahead and put some 20-inch wheels on it and lower it so we can get rid of that gigantic wheel gap that it has. So we have here 20 by 10 with offset of 25 plus 25 Rohana RC7. They look really nice. They have a bit of a concave on them. I don't know if you can tell. Maybe when they're on the car you can tell. And they're wrapped in a 265 35 20 Toyo tire. And we're going to make it fit real nice with the BC Racing coilovers. So the M37 is a really big car, and it's more of a luxury style sedan, and it needs to look a little bit more like it. It's got these big wheel gap right here. These are the standard 18-inch wheels. The S model I think comes with the 20-inch wheels, which are also really nice, but they're expensive to find when you can find them, and I couldn't find any. So we're going to get rid of this wheel gap and put something nicer on there. Real quick, this is the front of the car. It looks like from the ground through the center of the wheel up to the fender is 29.25 inches. Here in the back, even more of a gap, so we're like 29.5 inches, and a pretty significant gap there too. All right, here we are with just the wheels on. I just did one side so we could just take a look at how it sits with just the wheels on. Already a big change. I mean, it looks like a different car already. But it looks like our gap here has gotten even bigger. So that's why we set the car on the wheels first, to see the gap that we need to fill in. So if you look, this is stock right here, and then aftermarket wheels. See, so let's measure that gap and see how we need to lower it. Look how much offset makes a difference. See, this is stock offset. It's like plus 40, I think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's plus 40 or 45. And then go to this side. She's barely pokes out on the front, and it's really flush on the back. So that's what offset would do for you. Plus the wheel looks like it's turned just a bit. There we go. So now from the ground through the center of the wheel to the fender is 29.75. That's definitely higher than before. And on the back, we're at over 30 inches, 30.25, 3/8, somewhere around there. And our gap is like 4 inches, almost. It's a lot. So the gap has definitely gotten bigger. So now let's lower it down. Okay, so we got the wheel off, and we're gonna go ahead and get started with the coilovers. So to get the old one out, you have, I think that's a 19 millimeter right there. You have a nut holding your brake line on. It's 12 millimeters. And then if you go inside your engine bay, you have three that are all 12 millimeters, and You should be able to just take it out from the bottom. Hopefully we won't have to take anything else out. That's what I'm hoping for. So that's what we're gonna try first, to get the old shock and spring, or strut and spring, whatever you wanna call it, out of the car. And then we're gonna get the other side out. We're gonna take our two coilovers. We're gonna measure them out to make sure that they're both the same. And so we'll start with the front two first, get them matched up, and then the rear two after that, and then we'll adjust from there. So yeah, it's just gonna, hopefully we can just pop it out from there and pull the whole assembly out. So we'll see. Let's go. Front strut is out. It actually had this handy little bracket here. You can see it goes right there and there. They're 14 millimeters. There's 3 bolts, and just kind of sandwiched it in there. So after you take off the 19 millimeter, you take off this bracket, and basically the whole thing just slides right out. It's super neat, very easy. The 19 millimeter bolt was really tough to get out. I had to heat it up with a torch to get it loose. It was like seized up in there. But once I got that one off, everything else was nice and easy, and the whole unit just came out so easy. So you just gotta watch out for your brake lines right here and your sensor, and you just kind of finagle it out of there. So now let's get the coilovers and measure them up, and we can go ahead and scoot it on in there. Okay, so here are the two coilovers for the front, and here's the stock strut and spring assembly. And you can see that I haven't adjusted anything, but the stock one is already a couple inches longer, so it's already going to be lower. So maybe we'll just go with that. We'll measure from here. These are both tight, so we'll measure from here to here, make sure that these two are the same, and then we'll also come over and adjust our stiffness right here. So basically we'll go all the way soft. Okay, I think this thing has like 30 clicks or 32 clicks, something like that, but you can feel it clicking. So, and we're going to set it in the middle, so like 15. So you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we'll do the same thing for this one. So make sure that they are the same. So after I measure them, I'll go ahead and put one in, and then I'll go ahead and start on the other side, and we'll lower it down nice and slowly with the wheels on, and check our gap, and then we'll adjust from there. And another thing that you need to remember is new suspension will always settle. So set it slightly higher than you really want it to be. So when it settles, it'll lower down even more, just a little bit. And give it a couple of days. And then once it's nice and settled, if you want to readjust it again, then do that. So let's go ahead and measure these up and then get one on. Okay, so the new coilover is in there. So when I put it in, this part right here was like 3 inches away. So I couldn't get the threaded part through the holes. So basically what you just do is you just get a jack. You put the bottom part in, and you get a jack, and you jack up the lower arm, and you just kind of guide it through the holes. And then after you get it through the holes, you just go up top and put your nuts in, and that's how you do that. All right, both of the fronts are done, and wow, what a difference. So like I said before, that's gonna settle and probably drop even a little bit more, maybe another 1/2 inch. But that fitment is on point right there. I love it. Yeah, really nice. 25 offset is like perfect. So if you're looking for wheels for an M37 or M56, 25 offset is nice and flush. So now we'll move to the back and do the back now. But look, lowered, stock. Man, huge difference. So we're gonna go super low with the back, as low as we possibly can. And we should have a nice stance after that. So now we're at the back of the car. The back of the car should be easier than the front because you don't have all the brake lines and stuff to deal with. So it's just a bolt here, and then there's 3 up here, but the trick to getting these up here is you gotta take the back seat out. So to take the back seat out, you have this clip, and there's one on the other side too. You can feel it just underneath the seat. You just pull it, and it'll release that part of the seat. You just kind of have to pop it up on both sides, and then after you have both sides disconnected, the bottom section where you sit down is loose, and you can just pull it out. And then once that's out, you gotta get the back off. And then to get the back off, there's a nut here, and then let's see, there, and then there's 2 more on the passenger side. So let's go ahead and do that, and then hopefully it'll be easier to get to the strut tower. So let's go ahead. All right, the back seat is out. Look at that, access to the top of the strut tower, so open now. If you have help getting the back seat out, it'd probably be best. Totally doable by yourself. I did it by myself. But there's 3 latches. It's kind of like a hook that goes over here. I'll show you in a second. 1, 2, and then 3 on that side. You kind of have to lift it up and pull it out. So here, here, and here. If you get it kind of cockeyed, it makes it harder to get out. That's why 2 people would be better. So lift it up and then out. Alrighty, so the back is now out. You saw how to do the top. The bottom is just a 17 millimeter, and the nut on mine looks like it's welded in there, so you're gonna have to take it out, take the bolt out, not the nut. So we got our new ones here, and we're gonna do the same thing with the back as we did to the front. We're gonna measure, make sure they're both the same, and then we're gonna adjust the stiffness to match each other, and then we're just gonna install them. Super easy, and we'll lower it down and see how it looks. I would carefully think about how you want your stiffness done, because once you put them seats back in, you probably don't want to take them back out. Even though it wasn't too bad, it was just by yourself, it's not very much fun. So let's go ahead and do that. Throw them in, get the car sitting on the ground and see what it looks like. All right, so it's all done. Man, it made a huge difference. This thing looks like a different car. So much better. I think I'll probably, I'm gonna let it sit for a bit, let the suspension kind of work itself in. I'm probably gonna go another inch on the back. So what do you think? Let me know. Should I go lower on the back? I'm thinking yeah right now. So after you do this, you definitely want to get an alignment. But I'm just gonna let it sit here for a while, a day or so, and maybe lower the back a little bit more. But man, it looks so good. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. If that helped you, let me know. Give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, all that jazz, and see you on the next one.